38岁了，没有结婚。
Time flies, I'm already 38 years old, and once the spring festival is over, I'll be entering my 39th year. I never thought I would still be single at this age, nor that I would have never gotten married. Occasionally, when I think about these things, my heart feels a little sour, and I even feel some regret. Perhaps I was too arrogant back then, being picky and always thinking I could wait for a better match. Now looking back, opportunities slipped away time and again, leaving behind nothing but endless regret. Maybe if I had hesitated less, worried less, would I be living a stable life today? A warm home, a partner to rely on? What do you think? If I never get married in this lifetime, will I be destined to wander like a lost soul, forever unable to find my own harbor? The moment such a thought crosses my mind, I can't calm down. It makes me feel that my past self was too idealistic, too obsessed with unnecessary persistence. Now, I'm really afraid that I might end up spending my whole life alone.
的人到老了会非常悲凉，因为会孤独终老。
I am an older single woman born in 1976. Around me, many people have said that as an older single woman like me gets older, she will feel more and more desolate, and may even end up dying alone. These words used to make me feel anxious, and at one point they even made me scared. However, today what I want to ask is, are you not anxious at all? Last week, I went to the hospital to see a traditional Chinese medicine doctor, and by chance I met an 81-year-old man. He was slowly walking alone to the hospital. When I asked him why he came by himself, he replied, "My family members have all passed away." At that moment, I thought he was just saying it out of frustration. So I tried to comfort him and said, "At your age, you should have family members accompanying you." He then said, "My spouse passed away, and my son also passed away. Life is bitter." I didn't dare to ask more questions, and a sense of sorrow suddenly overwhelmed me. At that moment, I wasn't just feeling sorry for this old man, but for all those who represent the suffering of aging alone and dying in solitude. I suddenly thought about my own situation being alone now, and I fear that I might also end up like this when I grow old. Perhaps loneliness is inherent to life itself. We cannot avoid aging, illness, and death. These are the fates that humanity cannot escape. Every person's life will face difficulties and cannot resist the arrangements of fate. Human life is impermanent, and no one can predict what will happen tomorrow. The hardships and loneliness of life are already hidden in each of us. Though we may feel lonely at times, it is a normal part of everyone's life. At my age now, it is almost impossible to find another half. No matter how much I regret or how much I resent my previous high standards for men, it no longer matters. Perhaps I have already prepared myself for the possibility of dying alone. Loneliness may be my destiny.
如果老天爷可以再给我一次机会的话，
If heaven could give me another chance, I would definitely not wait until my 30s to realize that I am still unmarried and need to find a partner. I would make sure to find the right person in my 20s and get married as soon as possible. If I could marry early, I would do so without hesitation and absolutely not drag it out until I am 32. At my current age, I really find that I no longer want to communicate with the opposite sex. The topics I discuss with men have become repetitive and old, with no freshness or novelty. Moreover, when I interact with the opposite sex, I no longer feel the anticipation I once had. I don't feel the same curiosity towards each other as I did when I was younger. Even things that I used to find interesting now seem dull and unremarkable. In my 20s, I was full of curiosity about many things, and new things seemed so fascinating to me. At that time, I hadn't experienced much and had limited knowledge of the world, so everything around me felt fresh and exciting. But now, in my 30s, having gone through more experiences and seen more of the world, many things no longer surprise me. I realize that they are just what they are, and I no longer find them as attractive as I did when I was younger. The hardest part is finding someone with whom I can truly share a common language. After 30-something years of life experiences, I've accumulated a lot of knowledge, but everyone's background and perspective are different, and the things we've been exposed to are vastly different as well. As I grow older and time passes, I find it increasingly difficult to find a man who is on the same wavelength, with whom I can truly have a deep conversation.
姐妹们，我从来没有想过我会嫁不出去。
Sisters in my life, I never thought I would reach the point of being unable to marry. However, at the age of 40, I still haven't found the right partner. What surprised me even more is that, once a woman surpasses the age of 30, she will be labeled as a leftover woman, and often mocked as a woman that nobody wants. In fact, I never realized the seriousness of this issue until I slowly entered this age, and only then did I truly feel the heavy pressure that this label brings. Especially when I see that not only do older single men look down on us leftover women, but more and more young men also begin to despise women like us. I can understand their thinking, as men's mindsets tend to remain stuck in their younger years. They always prefer those youthful, energetic young girls, who would want women like us who have seen through life, experienced so much, and no longer have many illusions and expectations. Therefore, I gradually understand that, as a woman already in her 40s, I must face reality and accept the possibility of being alone for the rest of my life. Leftover women must be clear about the environment and situation they are in, and be mentally prepared for the possibility of growing old alone. After all, there are some things in life that we cannot control.
我今年38岁了，很多人说我老阿姨、老女人、老太太。
I am 38 years old this year. People around me often call me old aunt, old woman, or even old lady, saying that I am doomed to never get married. To be honest, I really feel bad when I hear these comments. It feels like everyone is harshly putting me down. But today, I want to sit down and talk with you about the main reasons why I became what's known as a leftover woman. In fact, many women now envy my life, and this is not bragging. I own 2 properties and have my own car. If you ask me how life is going, I can honestly say that I haven't pursued wealth or fame. As an ordinary person, I don't have to worry about my daily expenses. In the earlier years, I didn't have the financial situation I have now. At that time, my wish was simple. If I could earn 10,000 yuan a month, I'd be happy enough to pay the mortgage and the insurance. At that stage, my requirements for a partner weren't high. I thought if he could earn about 10,000 to 15,000 yuan a month, that would be good. After all, my own ability was limited, so I didn't have many picky requirements. However, when my monthly income later exceeded 100,000 yuan, my standards gradually started to rise. At that point, when looking at men, it wasn't just about their character and abilities. I would even dismiss them over small issues. I became particularly picky, magnifying others' flaws while ignoring my own shortcomings. As my income further increased, my horizons also expanded, and my attitude became somewhat arrogant. I once had a boyfriend who was worth millions, but I didn't hesitate to break up with him. Later, when I looked back at the path I had walked, I re-evaluated myself. I realized that I had worked so hard, and now I feel quite resentful, always thinking I could meet someone better. However, as time passed, I found that those men who were better off than me would never choose me. They often prefer younger girls, which is an undeniable fact. As for me, I unconsciously lost the delicate, tender side of myself, and when dealing with problems, I became more direct, rarely displaying a soft and charming demeanor. So, what was the result of my hard work and pursuit of independence? It was becoming someone no one could rely on or care about. Now, my sense of happiness seems to have turned into emptiness, because there are no longer any men who want to marry me. This is the journey I've gone through to become what's called a leftover woman. I really feel very sad, and my heart feels empty. I don't even know how to express it. Actually, I really want to cry, but it seems like I can't, even though I feel so down inside. It's just that every time I say something like I want to find a partner, someone starts contacting me. I really understand their feelings, and I also think that if I meet the right person, trying to date might not be a bad idea. However, one day, a person added my contact information and told me he was 50 years old. At that moment, I thought to myself, he's 50, yet he's telling me he likes me? He must be really handsome or wealthy. Then he sent me his photo, and in that instant, I felt insulted. It was like a humiliation, a huge blow. How could something so disgusting happen? I just thought, am I really that bad? Even though I am already 35 years old, I feel like I look 28, and I've taken good care of myself. But he was 50, and when I saw his photo, he looked like he was 70. I really felt insulted and uncomfortable, feeling that I shouldn't have to endure such humiliation and discrimination. He also told me that he spends half of the year at home and the other half working outside. When I heard that, I just thought, what does that have to do with me? It really made me angry. If someone genuinely wants to find a partner, they should look at my requirements and standards for dating, instead of doing these unreliable things. It really annoyed me. When I'm angry, I can't help but curse.
为什么35岁的我经济自由？
Recently, I've been thinking about why women like me, who are 35 years old, economically free and independent, are still labeled as older single women. Not long ago, I happened to watch a video by a blogger who attended a matchmaking event at a park, which really struck a chord with me. First, I didn't think much of it, but I decided to attend a matchmaking event myself, made a sign, and thought maybe I could meet someone suitable. However, when I got there, I didn't receive the understanding and respect I was hoping for. Instead, I was met with insults and criticism. People started calling me old and saying I couldn't have children. After I posted the video of the matchmaking event online, the comments felt like a mocking talk show. Some said I must be involved in improper work to make that much money. Others criticized me for having unrealistic standards. I could understand their views, but the things they said really upset me. What was even worse was when some people accused me of lying, even saying that I couldn't have children, which made me extremely angry. I have a legitimate job. Why am I the target of such malicious comments? My standards aren't high, they're the same as most other women's. A man with a car, a house, over 1.8 meters tall, and average or above average looks. I really think these requirements are normal. I'm in good health and get annual health checkups, so there's no issue there. But now, at this age, like many women my age, all the effort and growth I've put in seems to have earned me the older single woman label. People say no one wants us or advise us to live alone. Looking back, in my 20s, I focused on entrepreneurship, and at that time, I really didn't have time for dating. But today, I have the right to pursue love. Why shouldn't I? The reason we are called older single women is that we prioritized personal growth and self-worth in our younger years, rather than just treating marriage and childbearing as the only goals. And these biases are just too much. This age, finding a suitable partner is really important to me. I definitely can't settle for a bad man because, after all, we're talking about spending a lifetime together. Some people even DM me, telling me I might as well not bother, that it's fine to live alone for the rest of my life. I reply, well, what if I find a younger man? Then they say that I'm old enough to be his mother. Actually, people should focus more on the older single women group, show less bias and more understanding and care. We haven't done anything wrong. We're just making the choices we think are best for our lives.
我觉得找个结婚对象比找外星人都难。
Sometimes I feel that finding a suitable marriage partner is harder than finding an alien. What if I never get married in my life? I'm already 37 years old, or rather, close to 38. In fact, ever since I turned 30, I stopped really keeping track of my exact age, and I don't care much about the passage of time anymore. I estimate I'm about 37 years old, at least by my actual age, which would be 37. But some netizens say I look like I'm already 39, or even 40. Some even think I look like a 50-year-old person. Based on my biological age, I guess I could round up and just say I'm 40 now. Let's assume I get married and have children when I'm 40. By the time I'm 60, my child will already be 20. If I choose to marry a 50-year-old man, then when my child is 20, I will be 60, and he will be 70. If our child gets married later like I did, oh no, my child will definitely not marry late. Let's say they get married at 35. By then, I will be 75. At that time, how old will my partner be? He will probably be 85. And by then, I'll be walking with a cane, and he'll be sitting in a wheelchair. I'll probably have to push him to the market, and even to our child's wedding. Although by that time, he might be drooling. We'll both be wearing handkerchiefs on our chests. I'll push him along, and I might even need to carry a pack of adult diapers because at that age, diapers might be a necessity. Just thinking about it makes me feel so ridiculous.
Do you know what is the most crushing moment for older single women? It's not when you're alone in the hospital feeling lonely, nor is it when your family keeps urging you to get married, or when you have something happy to share but can't find anyone to tell. It's when you've made the decision to seriously look for a partner, and one by one, You meet man after man who just isn't right for you. After each meeting, you feel more and more disappointed, as if your hope is running out. Just as you think you may never find the right partner, suddenly, a man who seems perfect in every way appears. During your blind date, you begin to imagine all sorts of wonderful married life scenarios, thinking that he could be your other half, someone you might spend your life with. However, unexpectedly, this man has never even considered being with you, and in fact, seems not to be interested at all. You begin to wonder, why is this happening? His answer is simple: he thinks you're too old. This reason is undoubtedly the most crushing because it touches upon a fact you can't change. But the most crushing moment comes later. After gradually accepting the reality of your age, you decide to lower your standards, relax your requirements, and think that material conditions like a house and a car no longer matter. You just want to find someone who can accompany you for the rest of your life. However, even after lowering your standards, the man still doesn't want you. You once thought you had lowered your expectations, and you dressed yourself more beautifully, even started pursuing men more actively. You can't help but wonder, is this the time when you'll finally find someone? However, you forget that there is one thing that will never come back: time. As time passes, your age keeps increasing, and no matter how much you change yourself, time doesn't stop. Eventually, you realize that the men you once rejected, or the ones you thought were not good enough for you, now have no interest in you either. This is the most crushing moment for an older single woman. If it were you, would you marry these older single women? Feel free to leave your comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to our channel. Your support means a lot to us, and we will continue to bring you better shows. Thank you again for watching. See you next time.